Good morning, everybody. Um, I wanted to come on and share my spoken word and also just express my thoughts rawly through my poetry. Not many people know that I write poetry because I haven't written in so long. But yesterday, I was inspired. I just want to give a backdrop of how this spoken word came about. And I was sitting at my desk and I was taking notes from a video, informational video that I was watching. And I was actually digging through one of my arts and crafts drawers. And I saw this printout of a jar that I did. It was for another activity and I never used it. So when I seen it, I don't know, as I was looking at it, it just gave me um, a title of a poem. I didn't know how the poem was going to flow out, but I just had the title just by looking at the jar. And the title of this poem, which came from that inspiration, is Grief in a Jar. And I just want to say, also, this was also inspired by someone who I read and who had spoke out publicly about us silencing our grief, silencing our public grief. And so that was also an inspiration to this. It was just all my raw thoughts, basically. Like when I said it was just flowing, it was just basically just how I felt. A lot of things that has been said, a lot of things that have been felt by me over the years. A lot of people don't know that I I'm so loud now because I've been so silent in the past. I haven't really voiced my opinion about certain issues publicly. So it may seem to many that I'm ranting and raving out of rage and anger and and reacting on emotions, but really this is something that I believe my generation and even this generation that's coming after me are really tired, and we have felt this for so long, and now it's like now is a time that we can't afford to be silent. We can't afford to muffle our voices anymore. I posted on Instagram on my timeline a quote that I found about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it said, "What does your choice cost you?" And I remember because this was something that I believe my bishop asked a while ago too. So that's what really brought my attention to that quote as well. But as I printed out this quote as an encouragement to place on my wall in front of my desk, what had me thinking was because I was during this pandemic, it's been hard to do certain things and stick to a routine, or even just the dread of having a routine, because it feels like we're experiencing Groundhog Day. If you've seen that movie, if you don't know what that movie is, you're too young. But anyway, yeah, it feels like a Groundhog Day experience in this time where we wake up, we do the same things over, and we wake up again. It's like, wait, and it's a so yeah. So I put that on there to give me encouragement on just the day to day things like not washing the dishes or not even relaxing or wanting to read a book. And so weighing out these small choices. But then as I began to look at that quote, the Holy Spirit led me to even think on a grander like this going to be applied in different realms of our life. And even as a Christian, I believe that this is a constant question that we have to ask ourselves as we are doing the work for the kingdom. What does my choice cost me? And so this question has been echoing ever so loudly since I put it on the wall, and even louder as we're going through these today's current events. And so I lend that question to you. What does your choice cost you? Your choice of being silent, your choice of being loud, your choice of moving in creating action, your choice of staying still and waiting, your choice of speaking up, your choice of protesting, your choice of not protesting. These are all questions that we must ask ourselves. What does my choice cost me? And if you're willing to pay the cost, or if the cost is too much, let's think about that. These are, and I just want to leave you with that because I can go on and on. But I want to share this spoken word with you all. I hope that you receive it well. Like I said, it's raw thoughts, so it's not something that I mulled over for hours or days or weeks. This came, like, I don't even know how long it took me to write it. Not even that long. But here it goes. Anyway. Grief in a jar. I feel locked in a jar. It's hard to breathe. Who knew George Floyd would bring the world to their knees? Pleas from the peaceful to stop all the looting. But let's not forget we begged the police to stop all the shooting. I'm a daughter to a black father, a sister to a black mother. No, that's not it. Let me start over. I'm sorry, I'm reading it. I don't remember this. Remember, it's raw. So we're going to do it again because I'm not starting this video all over. Those are spoken words. That was my heart. All right. Redo. Grief in the jar. I feel locked in a jar. It's hard to breathe. Who knew George Floyd would bring the world to their knees? Pleas from the peaceful to stop all the looting. But let's not forget we begged the police to stop all the shooting. I'm a daughter to a black father, a sister to my black brothers. I can't stand to see another black man bring grief to their black mother. See, I have 2 children. Thought I wanted another. But I'm afraid to bring another black child into this world. You mad about some fires and some looting? What about the fires that's been burning inside our black communities? Drugs, gangs, broken families, abuse, addictions, molestation, just to name a few. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling the truth. We've been victimized and traumatized for too many years. This jar couldn't fit the grief we endured through the years. There'd be too many tears. I feel locked in a jar. I'm trying to breathe. I guess it's time for me to get down on my knees. And now, I encourage you to continue the spoken word. Add your words. Let it be raw. Let your emotion flow out on the paper. And let's start this connection of words. Because we're all connected in this. Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Asian, whether you're Mexican, whether you are Middle Eastern, we're all connected to this one issue. And I say one issue because I'm highlighting racism, but we know that there's many issues inside that one issue. And so I encourage you to keep the conversations going amongst family, amongst friends. This is a time not to be silent. I've been telling my husband and even myself that it's a now or never type situation. Like 2020 has given us the release and the freedom to not speak recklessly, but speak with intent, and to speak what you believe, but also be willing to accept the belief of others, and not to accept it as in to live by it, but to accept it, to understand it, and to accept it, to hear it, and to accept it, to choose to walk away from it. Now, oftentimes we feel like if I accept someone's opinions, I am saying I am for it. But no. To be acceptance of someone else's lifestyle, opinion, culture just makes you tolerant. And we live in an intolerant world. Many people are prejudiced. Many people are racist. Prejudice stems from racism. So whether you may not call yourself a racist, We must be very introspective at this time and say, what kind of prejudice, thoughts, feelings, opinions, beliefs that I have in my heart that stems from racism. My prayer is that we become more tolerant of the intolerant, that we become more accepting of the unacceptance, that we become more loving to the loveless, because we're all here, and I don't believe that God put us here that we might not be able to live amongst each other. Like, it's crazy. That's a whole nother story. Like, I just don't understand it, really. But they say not everything we're gonna understand, right? So with that, I just want to say that I love you. I love my Black people. We are riding this thing out till the wheels fall off. I mean, I've been saying this, and I'm gonna say it on here. I feel like Minnesota, they put it down and they said we gonna take it as far as we can go. So ain't no going back. Ain't no going back. Like, we in this. Like, you stuck. Like, they forced the Black people's hands in a good way, I believe, because it made us really have to be introspective, or even just be honest and say, is enough enough? Because Minnesota could have did that all by themselves. That could have been a Minnesota problem. And you may be thinking that is a Minnesota problem. But remember, George Floyd wasn't the first man killed by police brutality. So we must continue to keep this movement going. Don't let it stop. It is strong. And I know it will fade out, because we live in a world where trends, what trends gets our attention. But my prayer is that this is a movement that will cause change, that this was a movement that I'll be proud to tell my sons about. Although it's hard while we're going through it, I feel that there's a smile, there's a rainbow, there's peace on the other side of this. So be blessed, my brothers and sisters. I love you.